Hello, I am Unlock Philosophy with the key Philosophy Reading by Hellmut Monz. Yes, this is what we're doing. The most misunderstood philosopher, How to Read on Reality by Heraclitus of Ephesus with Hellmut Monz. This is the key Philosophy Reading episode 1. No, this. Contents. We do a welcome, we talk about reading rules, we talk about Heraclitus. Why should you read Heraclitus? Why does Heraclitus make the reading list for philosophy? Then we talk about a translation key. Heraclitus did not write in English, he wrote in a dead language. Where do we get the confidence that we speak about what Heraclitus meant to say in English? So we need to do some work. I don't try to geek out too much, but we need to show that we need to earn speaking about Heraclitus and claiming we understand Heraclitus. We understand what Heraclitus understood. Then the fun part, we read Heraclitus, read a translation of Heraclitus, and then we say goodbye. Welcome. Dear friend of philosophy, welcome to the key Philosophy Reading. I am Hellmut Monz, the philosopher with the mission of freeing philosophy. If you have ever struggled reading philosophical texts, so hard. It can be sometimes so hard. If you ever struggled reading philosophical texts, then think along to learn how to unlock the key works of philosophy. Before we start reading, let's go over the reading rules. How do we read? It's about reading out loud the words I'm seeing. Sometimes I read out loud the words I'm thinking. Sometimes I write down the words I'm thinking. Okay, so reading out loud, we do seeing, hearing, and writing, and together they need to work together in synchrony for us to be able to do a proper reading. And then, if we can do good reading, then understanding opens up. Heraclitus. Heraclitus lived thousands of years ago, 2,500 of years, half a century before Jesus was a thing. In ancient Greek, Ephesus is Heraclitus of Ephesus. Ephesus is an Izmir, today's Turkey, Asia Minor. Okay, so if you talk about Western philosophy, is that the West? You know, when you talk about the West, I think about London, Paris, but here, this is not. This is on the border between East and the West. This is quite significant, actually. Maybe we talk about it a little bit. And even when he was around, he was already called the Dark because he wrote so obscure, so murky. It was so hard to see through his work. Apparently, he was called the Enigmatic, the Riddler, because apparently he was writing jokes and riddles. But this is not the case. It's just happened to be that he was so misunderstood that humans were not really trained in reading, and so he has been terribly misunderstood. And he still delivers. He still delivered the foundation of Western philosophy, of philosophy as such, and he is to be in the top 10 of all of the greatest philosophers of all time, maybe top 3. And I say this with much conviction that I doubt, I'm sure there will never ever be a philosopher on planet Earth who will kick him out of the Hall of Fame of philosophers, of the top philosophers of all time. No one will kick him off the foundation of philosophy. He did his job so well. He nailed it that well. And once you have learned how to read Heraclitus, you will see why that is. Why you can't beat Heraclitus. Why did he do his job so well? Yeah, translation key, as mentioned, he did not write in English. We need to do some work to earn us the ability, the authority to talk about Heraclitus and claim that we understand Heraclitus. I pick out fragments of Heraclitus. Heraclitus wrote a book on reality, Periphysius, and it's what got lost. But luckily, what he wrote was so interesting, so fascinating that other people were quoting him a lot. And then came doxographers along. Doxographers are people who literally scratch together, write down the doxa, the opinion of others, and they start cross-referencing, and then they start proposing, likely based on all the quotations, all coming together. I think we can say that this is the stuff that was actually written down in the original work of Heraclitus. So there are some issues when you start ordering that and putting that together. The very famous order has been proposed by a doxographer called Hermann Diels. What his approach was the following: he orders them based on the alphabetical order of the names of who quoted Heraclitus. So it starts with A, Aristotle, with fragment 1, and coincidentally, it happened to be that that Aristotle says, "Oh well, when you open and read Heraclitus, this is at the beginning. You see, write this," and then he quotes. See, so there's a happy. It happens to be. Oh yes, a coincidence, a great coincidence, that it's very likely that with fragment number 1, this is how Heraclitus' work really started. So we only go into 3 fragments. A little bit of ancient Greek. Try not to nerd out too much, but we need to do a little bit of work. We focus only on one word. And that's the logos. We nail that word, and the rest should nail itself. And if I quote Heraclitus, I cite him in my own work in chapter 4.2, Heraclitus on reality, in the book The Key to Philosophy, pages 228 to 366. I put a reference into the description below. Good. Translation key. We make an intermission. The Key Philosophy Reading by Hellmut Monz. Good. So this is how it comes in front of us. Preliminary translation goes like this. But of this logos, this always existing, humans generate a part both before they have heard it and having heard it firstly, despite all being generated according to this logos. They seem like the unresearched researching these words and works that I steer through. According to physical nature, taking everything apart and phrasing how it holds. But it is hidden from other humans, whatever they do having been awakened, like they forget whatever they do sleeping. The word not translated is logos. Yes, let's write this down. Do we have the notes? Yes. Logos. Here it shows up as logo. Important to know about ancient Greek, it's a language where there's a lot of stuff happening. So nouns shapeshift. Nouns are declinated. There's declination coming. So logo is genitivus singularis of logos. Just so, oh no, but it's logo, it's not logos. Yeah, this comes from that, okay? So he talks about this word. It's the key word Why is it the key word? Why can we say this is what we need to focus on? Because we can literally translate logos as the word. The word. If you ever heard that at the beginning there was the word, if you read a little bit of the Bible, that is also the logos. Logos means the word. So how does that happen? Why do we say logos is the word? Because logos is the noun of a verb. It's the nominalization of a verb, and the verb is legen. So we have lego, leges, legai, legomen, legede, legosin. I say, you say, he, she, it says, we say, you say, they say. What are they saying? So legen is to say, to speak, to tell. What are we speaking, saying, and telling? The word. So literally, it's the normalization of a verb. So when I say, what am I saying? I'm saying the saying. So it comes from to say equals the saying. Good. So where do we encounter logos? We encounter it in biology, psychology, archaeology, physiology, and so on. So the last part, logi, comes from logos, and it's often translated as the study. Biology is the study of bios, of life. Microbiology is the study of microbios, small life. When a biologist speaks about life, they don't just say anything. They try to speak properly. They want to speak soundly. This is why I like to translate logos with soundness. It sounds and it's sound. Keep that in mind, okay? So this is why I like this. Soundness. Logic comes from logos. When I speak logically, I want to make sense. This is why I like to also translate logos with sense. Make sense? It should really make sense. Can it make more sense? No. Okay. So, but of this sense, this soundness, this always existing, this is very nice. This is part of logos, and the part of it, it is characterized as iontos aie. Iontos is ionic genitivus singularis participium. That means it's a participle of ami. It comes from being. Ami, I, estin, esmen, este, eisin. That means I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you are, they are they. Being. And it is, how is the adverb to that? I, always, forever. It exists forever. Aristotle is confused with this translation. He's not sure if always goes with the existence of the logos or with the other part of this sentence. The other part of this sentence is about the humans. The humans that generate, that become, ginondai, a part. So here, very interesting, in the Greek says asynetoi. The A in the beginning is alpha privativium prefix. That means the A in the beginning, it negates what is after, what comes after. So it's like an or the or this. It means not. And the second part is synetoi, synonym, synesthesia, synchronicity, symphony, symposium. Syn means together. So it's not together, it is without. It's not a part, it's a part. So humans are a part. They are not with. They are away from this eternally existing, ever being logos, soundness. And now funny, both before they have heard it and having heard it firstly. So this is acoustically very interesting because we're talking here about acusai kai accusantes. These are acoustics. This is hearing. Now these tenses are in aorist, and aorist is a tense that doesn't exist in English anymore. And it trips me out if I think about a time that we don't have in the languages that I speak. But regardless of the tense of this verb, humans don't get this. Both before they've heard it and having heard it firstly. So they are ignorant. They are not in sync. They are not in sync with this soundness, with this sense. And it's funny because despite all panton, ta panta, everything, all things, all beings, all things or everything you can translate. Despite everything being generated, becomes according to this logos. Here's logos again, logon. Logon is accusativus. It's also a form of logos, and it's kata logon. So if kata goes with accusativus, means according to, kata logon. Despite everything generates according means with, together with, in sync, this logos, the humans, they seem like the unresearched, a perusine, comes from, again, negated, unexperienced, or untried. That's where the pirate comes from. The pirate tries a lot, tries to cross boundaries, tries to push boundaries. They seem like the inexperienced experiencing these words and works that I steer through according to. Again, we have here, where's the Greek? Kata physin. Physin is also a form of physis. Physis means reality. Physical. Physical means real. According to reality, or translated also sometimes as nature. According to kata, we're talking here about kata logon, kata physin. According to soundness, according to logic, according to nature, according to physicality. Taking everything apart and phrasing and naming how it holds together, how it's all held together, how it all is in sync with logos. And now again, funny, but it is hidden from other humans, whatever they do having been awakened, like they forget whatever they do sleeping. So this is they're not in sync. This is the joke. So this is Heraclitus is here a Buddhist. He talks about awaken, being woke. Buddhists are Buddhism comes from Bud, to be awake. So he talks about being awake, egerentes, having been awakened, being awake, egere, wake up. So he talks about being in sync with what is, and that requires you to be awake, not sleeping. Because even if when you sleep, you think you know where you are and you go around, but you only know it in a dream. You think you're going around, but actually you're not going around because you lie down in your bed. Yeah, and we are very, yes, this is good to note. So the thing with being hidden is here, Lanthenai, Thea, Lethe is the river of forgetfulness. So in the Greek mythology, people die before they get reborn, and need to drink water from the river Lethe to forget. So it hides So the past memory hides from them, and then they get reborn and they forget everything about the past life. And then it is also again, lethe is also here in epilanthenontai. Lethe. Okay. Forget. So forgetting and hiding in Greek are very similar. Hiding and forgetting means not being here, being away, being not in sync, being apart, being away. Okay, what's the takeaway here? Logos is the soundness. Ah, yes. Okay, let's write this down. The logos is ever present, always existing, always here. Together. Yeah, that's it. Good. Good. So now we can have some variations of these translations. We can now take a little bit of liberty. So we have it nailed. We have the word logos nailed, and now we can play around with other versions of how we can translate this and wake it up so we're less sticking to the ancient Greek grammar and words, but take a little bit of liberty because we earned it with having nailed logos. Humans are out of sync with this ever-being soundness, this ever-present sense, before they have heard it, as well as when they hear it for the first time, despite all things being in tune, in agreement. With this soundness, they seem like the experienceless experiencing these words and works that I direct in tune with nature, dividing each thing and pointing out how it is connected. Yet other humans do not get what they do waking, just as they forget what they do sleeping. Right? So, this is a call for not being ignorant. Not being ignorant, not trying to ignore that which cannot be ignored. Another version. This ever present soundness. Humans do not grasp this, whether before or after they have heard it, although this soundness generates everything. They seem unpierced, piercing the sounds that I sound forth in accordance with reality, by grasping each thing separately and sounding out how it grasps. But other humans do not grasp what they do when awake, just as they forget what they do while asleep. And now taking even more liberty. Good morning. This is soundness, yes. Yet humans are out of sync, not hearing what they are hearing. Despite this soundness sounding everything, humans sense nonsense when they try to sense what I sense, pointing out that each separated sound is still sound. So those humans are snoozing, oblivious of the obvious, like dreamers dreaming that they woke up. So I'm now going to 2 more fragments to confirmed translation. So we now have some sort of a confidence that I think I understood what logos means. Now we can check out other fragments where logos appears again, and we can double check and confirm. Can we confirm the meaning? So fragment number 2. 1, 2. Thus, one must follow the common, which is together, for together is the common, despite logos being common. The plural ones live like having an own brain. So funny here, we have here again logos, logo, a form of logos, and it's repeated again and again that it is koinos, synos, together, common. That's communist. Technically, Heraclitus is here a logical communist. You say that what is common, that it is together. Is also synchronist. Synon common. And he makes fun again of those humans who are not common, who are not taking part of that, what is a part of everything. The many, he talks about the many, 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 many people, the poloi, they have a sense, a pronicin brain, where brain comes from. That meant originally sense. It did not mean an organ sitting in your skull. And they have an idion. Idion, it's where idiot comes from. So an idiot, they have their own logic. An idiot. Like an idiot participating in traffic, they have their own traffic rules. Those who are not idiots, they all share the same logic. They all share common sense. They all share the same rules, the same logic. But the idiots, they have their own. They live in their own reality. Those who are not idiots, they share the reality. But the idiots do not share it. So it's your own. I have my own world. That makes me an idiot, literally. If I live with those who share the same world, I'm not an idiot. Okay, so this is clearly the what is being here repeated again is we have here the logos that is common and one. This is in sync, and then we have the humans, the many humans who are part of that and are split brained, schizophrenic, split brained. Here we can combine this here. Idiophrenic, yeah, own brained. They have their own logic, their own sense, their own rules, their own explanations, their own world, their own things. But the contrast is here, clear, being repeated. Okay, next fragment, fragment 50. It intensifies. The question is now, could we have misunderstood? Is there an alternative way to understand what Heraclitus spoke about? Let's test this. Heraclitus says, not me, but having heard the Logos, then it is sophisticated, then it is wise to equally say, to also say, to agree that all is one. All is one. One, again, is another way of saying together in sync. You say common, together in sync. So we need to update the thing here. Yeah, we say, but humans don't get this. Don't get. Ah, yeah, there's a fun thing here. Let's epi just make a note here. We talk about this in a moment. Not me. Uk emu. It's not about listening to Heraclitus. He says, no, don't listen to me. Accusantes. Don't accusantes to me. Don't acoustically listen to what I say, to the words I'm saying that are my words. No. Do not listen to what I say, to me. Listen to the logos, the soundness, the wholeness, the completeness, the oneness, the unity, the singularity. Then it is sophon, wise, philosophy, wisdom. Sophon. Then it's estin sophon, to homologane. Homologane. Homo, logane. Logane comes from logos, legen, to speak. Homo speaking. It's not speaking like gays. Homo doesn't mean gay here. Homo means equally, to say equally. If you say equally, you agree You say yes, not listening to me, but listening to Logos, then it is wise to agree. To what? And it's very explicit here that all is one. En panta enai. Panta, ta panta, everything, all things. Enai are en, hen, one. You can't screw this up. You can't screw up this. So repeat. Not to me. Don't listen to me or what the other me's of the other people are saying, what they are saying, with their separate brains. But listen to the logos, the soundness. Then it is wise. Then it's sophisticated to agree that all is one. The logos says that all is one. The logos says that all is common. Oh, yes. Logos word from say to say, saying soundness sense. Ever present together, common, in sync, one, united, harmony. Yeah, we can do a lot of harmony. Can talk a lot of harmony. Heraclitus talks about a harmony a lot. Harmony. So it talks about the one. Yes. Okay. And humans don't get it. Why do humans don't get this? And this is weird because apparently I'm a human, right? And there's someone called Epimenides. Epimenides. There's a paradox of Epimenides. Epimenides fell asleep in a cave where apparently also Zeus, the god of gods, was born. He fell asleep in a cave, woke up in the cave a long time ago, hundreds of years. I think he slept there for hundreds of years. At least this is how the story goes. And Epimenides said something very funny. He said, all humans are liars. But yeah, if Epimenides was a human, then that must have been a lie. He was lying about that. But only if Epimenides was a human. Okay, all humans are liars is only a paradox if the person who said it is a human. Okay, so that means if you are human, you can't understand this. The one who understands, who can read this, who can read the logos. We are actually here reading the logos. Heraclitus was not interested in Heraclitus. Heraclitus did not say, listen to me. Heraclitus literally said, don't listen to me. Not to me. Not to me. Uk emo. Not to me. It's not my opinion. It's not what I say. I'm telling you what the logos is saying. This is not something for humans. This is not. If you want to read this, you have to, discard your human shell. Okay, reading. Okay, do we do a summary here? Logos 1. Logos is common sense. Common sense. Singular soundness. One. Just one. Can we say just one? Just one, not many, just one. Yes. Okay, good. So intermission and then we do reading. The key. Philosophy reading. Oh, that ended abruptly because I pressed the wrong button, but that's how it is. So reading Heraclitus, we're reading the Revival of Cosmic Heraclitus. So having nailed, getting a little bit too confident and nailing the logos and thinking, this is the translation key. I took a little bit of liberty to translate Heraclitus to mix it a little bit smoothly and run a little bit more smoother in English. It's called The Revival of Cosmic Heraclitus. It's a translation with a little bit more freedom. And if you want to have it more strictly, you can refer to the section we just worked through. But here I'm dealing with the section 4.3, the revival of cosmic Heraclitus in The Key to Philosophy, the work I wrote, pages 367 to 378. Let's prepare. This is the fun part. Good. Humans are out of sync with this ever present sense, whether they sense or do not sense it. Although this sense is actually generating everything, humans act like the senseless, sensing what I sense in sync with reality and sound forth how to sense it. But all the others are oblivious of the obvious, just as dreamers dream about being awake. 1. Of all the things that I have heard humans say, no one gets the one thing that is without everything and nothing. Sync with common sense. Common sense is common to all. Sense is all there is. It is with us all to know ourselves and to sense what makes sense. Sense is the best. It is best to speak according to the truth and to act according to reality. Reality loves the sound. How could anyone not sense what is ever present? Real sense is unfindable and unsearchable. I searched myself and I could not find a self. Seekers of sense search a lot and find little. Moving, you would not find yourself even if you were to travel across every universe. The true self is of infinite sense. Tri-light is the best self. The lightning bolt rules everything. When you try to sense, you sense other and other senses. It does not make sense to sense the same sense twice. It gets apart and gets together. It appears and disappears. It comes and goes. Slow down when sensing the most majestic. Not the me, but sensing the ever present sense. Then it makes sense to say that all is one. One is the best if it is infinite. Law is to obey the will of one. Everything changes, only one does not. Everything flows, only one stays. Motion is stillness, duality is a dream, only unity is real. Life is a game, time is an illusion. Real harmony is better than fake harmony. Only respect sense that makes real sense. Sense the sound one. Understand the knowing that guides everything through everything. Death upon awakening, dream before awakening, resurrected, awaken as a watcher of the living and the dead. This universe, one for all. No God and no anything made it. What it ever was, ever is, and forever will be, ever living being. The flaming fire of pure being. Lovers of pseudo-philosophy, which is the desire for wisdom, get stuffed. Friends of real philosophy, which is the wisdom of love, desire little. 2. All is one. Sense and nonsense, agreeing and disagreeing, arising and passing, coming and going, pulling together and pushing apart, concentrating and relaxing, contracting and releasing. All is one, start and end, up and down, left and right, inside and outside, straight and bent, forward and backward. All is one, living and dying, waking and sleeping, young and old. Upside down is downside up. The divine is day and night, winter and summer, war and peace, wealth and hunger. The divine changes itself like an unchanging mirror that shows to everyone something else. War is parent of all, majesty of all, conflicted. They split some into immortals and others into mortals. Disagreeably, they turn some into rulers and others into slaves. Hatefully, they want some to win and others to lose. But unlike humans, one must know that war and peace are one and the same. Disaccord is accord, dueling is fake. They disagree about how disagreement and agreement agree. It's like art. Unified harmony brings together but seems to disagree. The ocean is good and bad. For fish, it is drinkable and vital. For humans, it is undrinkable and deadly. The death of steam is the birth of water. The death of water is the birth of ice. The death of ice is the birth of water. The death of water is the birth of steam. Cold becomes hot. Hot becomes cold. Wet becomes dry. Dry becomes wet. Everything is recycling, an exchange for cosmos, consciousness for consciousness, being for being. It is like stuff for money and money for stuff. At night, the waking turn into the sleeping. At day, the sleeping turn into the waking. At death, the living turn into the dead. At birth, the dead turn into the living. The living are dead and the dead are alive. They are living the death and dying the life of each other. Death surprises mortals with what they neither hope for nor believe in. The one, the alone and sound one, wants and does not want to be spoken to by the name of the divine. They. For the waking, the universe is singular, but dreamers have turned away into their own one. Although there's only common sense, all beings think that they have their own sense. Do not act and speak like the dreaming, for dreamers also believe they act and speak. Sensing out of sync with common sense, they sense like the senseless. This is them absently present, they are being here while being away. Humans disagree through what they agree, and they cannot recognize what they sense daily. Drunk adults act like babies, misled astray, having wetted the sense. A baby adult listens to the divine like a baby listens to an adult. Humans cannot recognize what is ethical. Only the divine can. For humans, the divine is home. Dogs bark at whoever they do not know. Idiots bitch about what they cannot understand. They cleanse their senses with senselessness as if they could clean the dirty feet with dirt. Nonsense. Then they pray to statues as if it made sense to talk to a wall. They cannot sense what is divine. Pigs clean themselves with dirt, birds with dust or ash. The senseless purify themselves by doing stupid shit. Asses choose hay over gold. The senseless pick nonsense over sense. The most beautiful monkey is ugly next to a human. The most beautiful human is ugly next to the divine. The wisest human is a monkey next to the divine. Do not be a monkey imitating what you saw others do. Do not be a human doing what most humans do. Do not be a baby regurgitating what your ancestors fed you. Think for yourself. The initiations practiced according to humans initiate them into nonsense. When cutting, burning, and injecting, doctors tried healing the sick through torturing them. Then the doctors ask for money, although their healing is just as sickening. Beliefs and opinions are spiritual sickness. Disagreement rules them all, splitting them all into seeing all in disagreeable oppositions. Humans are deceived by appearances just like Socrates was, the wisest of all humans. For the breathtaking diver Heraclitus, having remembered the unforgettable, deceived even him by saying, "What I get, I let, then I get what cannot be gotten." Much learning does not teach understanding. Humans' proof is child's play. The sense of those humans with bad spirits delivers poor proof. It is better to be silent than to speak nonsense. The best obey only the one and not the many, the ever flowing flame and not the mortal fame. But the many stuff themselves with stuff to death. They are both thirsty and drunk, starving and overfed, needy and stuffed. What is it with their common sense? They listen to many and many teachings without understanding that many is bad and little is good. Teachers of plenty are full of it. They think they know plenty and yet they know neither something nor nothing. All is one. When wealth leaves them, their lack appears. The poor-hearted must pray that they will never lose their riches. Regardless of how hard they try, they remain oblivious of the obvious. So they keep sensing nonsense. They do so much math, and it's still all tricks. One needs to extinguish selfishness. One needs to extinguish selfishness quicker than a kitchen fire. Greater pains gain greater gains. Citizens must fight over the law like they must fight over the borders. The most believable of beliefs is still a belief. For sure, justice will catch and constrain all tricksters and liars. The fire will separate and constrain all. Okay. And intermission. The Key Philosophy Reading by Hellmut Monz. That's it. Goodbye. Do we do something? Yes, so what we did do, yes, Heraclitus does make it into the key reading list for philosophy. Very careful you need to be that you don't misunderstand Heraclitus. It has been misunderstood a lot. I wrote, we can talk about this very long, and I wrote a lot about that. The suggestion is to focus on one word, the logos. That's the word. When you understand that word, you have no issue with understanding all the other words because you understand the word, literally. The translation and the understanding here to be suggested, and that's the key for the reading here, is that logos is that is ever present, that is together, that is common, that is in sync, that is one, that is united, that is harmonious. And that gives you all the richness of Heraclitus. And that opens up, and it's very clearly and confirming to read Heraclitus. With that key, you just unlock all the fragments. It makes all sense. But the human condition is living in ignorance of that, of not understanding the simplest. Not being in agreement with common sense. Disagreeing with what agrees. This is the human condition, and from that all the issues come, and the jokes come. Yeah, and also the sad stuff comes. Yeah, we did it. We did walk through Heraclitus, the first episode. We finished, we made it to the end. New episodes coming up. That's it. Okay, then we have it here. Bye. For more key philosophy, visit www.keyphilosophy.com and subscribe to the Key Philosophy newsletter.